Hello and welcome back, Portugal Junkies.
Hey, y'all.
Well, and welcome back to part two of the things that still blow our mind. I'm not
After
sure if that's
being here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be the title, but anyway, that's what we were talking about on the last episode.
You think that by now, at 16 months in, that we might be a little used to some of these things, but
Right.
We're not. And that's a good thing because we're grateful and we're in the moment and we're thankful.
I think one of the things I'm used to is the good coffee and the good wine. I mean, that will never get old.
It's
but
true.
Good coffee, good wine.
I know they're tired
Anyway.
of us talking about wine, but I'm not going to stop talking about it.
That's what funds this show.
So it still blows my mind that I can go and get a 2, 3, 4 euro glass of wine that is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
That you can go to the store and buy a really good bottle for 4, 5, 6 euros. And that's kind of like mid-range.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's an entire winery here that we discovered recently that their concept is accessibility of wine for all. So basically, no bottle in their shop is more than 18 euros.
There's a caveat. There's like two or
2
three that are a little bit more, but then that's only going up to maybe 35, 37.
Right.
But, you know...
It's quality, too. Like, it tastes delicious. Yeah. This is the thing. And you know what I find funny here? Because we talk about wine all the time. We haven't even really discovered our favorites because we never go back and get the same thing.
Because like
because there's so many options and you just go and you try different things.
Yeah.
And half the time when you're ordering a glass of wine at a restaurant or whatever, you don't know what they're pouring you. It's the house.
Right.
I mean, you could ask and they'd show you, but like you don't know what you're drinking.
But,
you just know it's great.
You know, whatever.
I'll also say this about the bread.
Go on.
It still blows my mind. I mean, I'm a breadaholic. Yeah. It has been the fight of my life against bread for basically 46 years. And I love it. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And here, the Portuguese, man, they know how to bake.
They know how to
They know how to make bread. They know how to, all different kinds of bread. And it blows my mind every time that we, for instance, one of the larger grocery stores that we go to here at Continent, they have a kick-ass bakery.
They do.
And it's not just breads. It's also pastries and donuts and sweets
Savories.
and things, which they're all really good at too. But bread for me, I'm more of a savory person anyway. But you go and you pick out your freshly baked, warm bread from the bakery, and you put it in this
cutter.
Yeah, it's like a built-in little drawer thing in the bakery, and so you put your loaf of bread in there. You select how
thick you want the cut.
Yep, thick you want it. You hit the button. It slices it right there for you. You get your little bag out. You put the bread in the bag. You go check out and put the code in. It gives you the sticker. You put it on the thing. And it's just
But what happens in between putting the bread in the bag and putting the sticker on the bag? What sometimes happens in between that?
I don't know.
You might pinch a bell for the
No!
I've seen you do it.
That's after we get out of the checkout. And then I'm like
rip the thing open. Yeah.
It will never get old.
Again, things that, it's like the wine, the bread, seafood. Doesn't get old.
Oh, don't even talk about the seafood. Yes,
gorgeous.
It is. It's amazing. It will always blow my mind. But those three things, wine, bread, and seafood here.
Yeah.
Love it. Specifically fish. Specifically fish and octopus, if you eat octopus. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I think
they're seafood, generally.
I know, but see, I don't love the shrimp here, so I didn't want to...
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't love it.
Oh.
I want to.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know.
Well, no, I thought you did because you were always with the shrimp and garlic in the hot.
Oh, no, that's a whole other story.
Well, still shrimp.
I know. We'll come back to that later. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with the shrimp here.
Okay.
What else blows your mind?
Safety.
Oh.
Safety. And not necessarily...
That's a big and serious one.
Not necessarily safety for me, but safety, how I feel about safety for you. Because I don't have to. I will always worry when we're apart and you go and get your nails done or whatever you're doing.
Worry is not the right word.
No,
you wouldn't worry.
Well, maybe it's one under a worry, but it's still this whole hope you're okay. Where are you?
Oh,
What's
you
going
mean like
on?
in the States? Sorry.
Yeah, no, but again,
I thought you were
just comparing it to that.
Yeah.
So it always blows my mind that I don't have that feeling. I will still worry about where, how's your journey
Did you get
going?
where you're going?
Did you get where you're going?
Yeah,
All of that. But I don't worry if you're out with some friends, girlfriends, in the evening, in town,
No.
11 o'clock, midnight, whatever. I don't worry about that on your behalf because I don't think you do, or you certainly don't put it across as being worried. And that doesn't mean to say that you're completely ignorant to paying attention.
Right.
Because
it's not like it couldn't happen.
Right.
But I'm not on guard. I'm not on guard all the time.
So that always, that still blows my mind that you don't feel. Yeah. And me, to some degree. I mean, different story for me. I'm a little bit bigger and unlikely to get as much grief thrown at me. But
I'm trying to get at my silver fox and see what happens.
That's me.
I totally agree. So this is something kind of like when you talk about health insurance and health costs and these big rooted things in your life that maybe in America they have been eroded. Yeah. And then you come here and it feels so different. Those experiences with those two things are so different. But the safety thing is like a sigh of relief.
It also, I mean, again, it does blend into, if we look at some of the core reasons why we moved here, safety was one of them. So, and it's so important that continues to blow my mind, quotes, that this far in, I'm still feeling that was such a positive statement of reason why we moved. Right. It was one of those core reasons we moved.
It was a core reason and it was on paper.
Right. And now it's still very in your face.
Now we get to experience it, and it's like corroborating what we had hoped. Yeah. And it is everything that we had hoped with that. And I'll also say, even so when we lived in Porto, I did not feel worried there either, but it's a bigger city. So I guess I was a little bit more on guard there, just to be aware. I mean, you've got a lot of tourists, you've got a lot of people just in general. So, but I think being in this small town now and everything's so freaking chill here in general that, if somebody's popping off about something, they're likely not from here. That's the truth. If you see any kind, which is rare anyway, I don't know if I really ever have. I saw a drunk kid on the street the other day. Oh, yeah. He was probably all of 17, and I was like, do not be mommy, do not be mommy. But he was like, yelling and screaming. I'm like, dude, this is 10 a.m. and you've had too much to drink, But that's so rare. That's the only thing I could really...
I've not experienced anything like that.
But that's not messing with my safety. It's just like, dude, get your shit together. Where is your mother? Type of thing. Right. But yeah, that will always blow my mind. And I think it's because the opposite experience in the States is so drastically different. And I'm thankful. Yeah. I'm thankful to be in a place that feels peaceful. Yeah. And, you're just not worried all the time.
Again, it comes always with the asterisk of always pay attention to your surroundings.
It's not like it can't ever happen, but pay attention. But you don't have to be, the antennas don't have to be up as much.
As often.
Hey babe, how many times do you think that we rode the should we or shouldn't we move to Portugal roller coaster before we actually did it?
I don't know, maybe 193 times.
Wouldn't it have been so cool if we had us during that time, to talk to?
Absolutely. I'd love talking to us.
Me too. So, we've decided we are going to be the us we needed for you guys. If you want to shoot the shit, ask us anything, or just get some real life perspective from our experience of moving from the U.S. to Portugal, we are now opening up our calendar for one-on-one calls. We can also hook you up with some of our best legal, immigration, and tax partners who helped us along the way. You can choose a mini call for 30 minutes, or if you're talky like me, an hour, and we'll hop on Zoom together to answer anything we can for you as you try to decide what's best for you you in your potential move to Portugal. Book with us right now on our Stan store at stan.store/Portugal Junkies, and we'll see you there.
So you made me think about like walking around, like in town. But that's another one for me, is this walkable lifestyle that we have purposefully chosen. And I say that because we chose not to have a car, but also we chose Tavira, which we knew would be very walkable. And so it's a good point if you're trying to decide like where you want to be.
Right.
But it still blows my mind to walk into town. It's a beautiful walk.
Absolutely.
You're walking along the river. You know, you're seeing this beautiful town with such history, and you've already met a lot of these people who you know, and you wave. And I don't know. I think that walkable lifestyle is something, again, conceptually we knew we wanted, but neither of us have really experienced that kind of life, right?
No.
I know I haven't in the States. Like
a little bit in England.
Maybe.
For me, in London.
Yeah. It feels like to me that was so far removed from my experiences growing up, typically, because we just didn't live in walkable areas.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes that's hard in most areas. I mean, that's so broad brush, but in the places that I lived in. And we even talked about this living in Charlotte. We were like, well, should we move to like uptown so that we could walk, the proximity to, and I'm that was a terrible idea.
The thought process of that, I don't know where we got that one
What
from.
the hell? That safety issue is just out the door.
It's not like 10 scale.
100%. But I do appreciate, and like it does still kind of blow my mind every time I walk into town that we're in a place that is so accessible like that, where you can walk and have a coffee, or meet a friend in 5 minutes at the bridge or whatever. It's just
absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah,
it won't get old.
And walking along the river, it's a case of you just again puts you back into a sort of more peaceful, calm state.
It's nature.
Looking down into the river, and you've got, shoals of fish. You've got all the crabs waving at you because they're scurrying around. You walk under where the bus station is. You've got swallows that have got all their their nests up in the rafters.
Yeah.
It's
sweet.
That is in itself.
I've always thought that nature brings us back.
Yeah, it absolutely.
And
does.
if you can get that once a day walking into town, I'll take it.
Yeah. We may not walk back all the time because it's up 130 steps. So sometimes
that $4 Uber comes.
Yeah, that's when it's a $4 Uber. It's going back up the hill.
But it is for two of us, so it's €2 per person.
And if it takes 5 minutes,
and how much is it per minute?
I don't know. I need to get.
This is rational.
About 10 cents.
Okay, what else? What else blows our mind?
I think for me, and this is going to be not an odd one, but I think for me. When I get my hair cut and beard trim and all the rest of it.
That's a big deal for you to say that.
Yeah. So when it comes to sort of beauty stuff, I mean, it's not really beauty. It's just more sort of like
it's that. Beauty, honey. Beauty services making you beautiful. Silver fox.
Okie dokie. I've lost my train of thought.
I still got it,
woman. No, so getting all hot and bothered under the collar.
Keep going.
So having a haircut, beard, all the rest of it, and even if I go for the most expensive, which is like a hot towel, shave, haircut, hair wash, all the rest of it, it's €25 total. And then you would probably, tip? You would tip. I would tip, because
I always tip beauty services. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're dealing with my appearance.
Yeah. And, it's an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 long for that experience.
Yeah.
And I don't have it done every time, but maybe once every 3 times.
€25 plus
25.
tip.
If I compared that to the places where I would go either in Uptown in Charlotte or into Huntersville, okay, I would pay minimum $99. Minimum. And that's before the expected 20%.
Expected.
And it is.
No, I know. Oh, I know. I wasn't joking.
And it's just like, oh my God.
And for me, so I will attest to this too. Every time I get my nails done every 2 weeks, my, like, a normal manicure, which I don't get, I do the, like, fill in acrylics or gel or something.
Right.
25 euros. And I always pay her 30 because I've told her 100 times that she's undercharging. She's the best.
She is.
And I love it. And it is like the one beauty thing that I do consistently now that, I don't do my hair very much anymore and all that stuff. Like, because I've grown it out. I don't have to go and get my hair dyed and all that other stuff. I'm still blown away every time I go in there, and it's a whopping 25 euros for that. But the other thing that I did recently was I got my eyebrows, ombre brows done, which is the equivalent. I think they're kind of like a microblading or what they call powder brows in the United States. And I priced it in the U.S. Somebody told me that it cost roughly 800 euros, somewhere in that range.
Fudge.
Maybe some a little bit cheaper than that, but not here. It was 200 euros. Actually, no, it was one something, and then I got another service, so my total bill was 200 euros.
Wow.
I'm just blown away sometimes at this stuff, but I also, so the flip side to that is that I do not think that they're not charging enough, right? And so I would say that. But they can't charge
enough in some cases.
Right, but if your clientele is us, and we're willing to do it, then we should, because I feel like, people struggle here. The Portuguese struggle here with their own salaries. And I'm like, if you're catering to us and we think that you're underpricing. Yeah,
absolutely.
But anyway, that's off on a tangent.
I mean, there are places, not that I know of, but that I've heard of, where, if it's a restaurant, if it's a cafe or whatever it might be, something of a service industry, where you'll go in and for a coffee for a local, it's one price, and then for a quotes tourist or an outsider,
tourist tax.
It's a quiet, unspoken tourist tax. And you know what? Fine. Am I going to be that bothered that I'm going to end up paying an extra 20 cents for a cup of coffee?
I'm not, because there's a perspective here for me, which is I'm thankful that these people have welcomed us, and I'm thankful to be here in their country.
Yeah,
and
that's always going to be my take on it.
I'm not going to be pissed about something like that. No. I think it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
My dear, sweet listeners, I say this with all the love in my heart. If you haven't traveled in beautiful Portugal yet, what are you waiting for? You are missing out big time. Iconic beaches, delicious wine, centuries of history, and honestly, some of the most beautiful people that you will ever meet. Why do you think we moved here? So, when you're ready, we are ready to help you plan the most perfect customized Portugal itinerary just for you, and more importantly, how you like to travel. Family trip with the kiddos, lazy girl travel, history buffs, foodies, combinations of all of those, we got you. After exploring Portugal since 2022 and then immigrating here, we're really excited to build travel plans for you that help you see this gorgeous, special place by understanding the way that you like to travel. Book a free call with us right now on our Stan store at stan.store/Portugal Junkies, and we'll talk through your ideal trip and start planning your customized Portugal itinerary. You'll even get your final itinerary on an app to use during your trip for easy access right on your phone while you're here. Remember, adventure is a verb, y'all. We're excited to help you plan yours.
Things that blow your mind. What else?
I love the cafe culture. Now, whether that is for cafe culture in the morning, for
it doesn't matter when,
a coffee and a pastry, or if it's in an evening for a glass of wine. Yes, I know, wine again.
They're going to think that we are drunkards. We're not really. We just partake a little bit. We don't drink at home hardly ever.
No, that's true, actually.
Notice that we've been drinking our coffee.
Well, no, all we can say is these are coffee cups with coffee in it. Apparently. So yeah. But yeah, cafe culture.
Culture.
Pretty much any time of the day.
It doesn't matter. It's like whether it is your little snack bar. Mm-hmm. We went to one last night,
Yeah.
We spent €6 for 2 drinks, 2 glasses of wine, right?
Yep.
And then they brought out chips, peanuts, and lupine beans as like just a little
snackette.
So €6.
Yep.
I mean, and you just sit there and chill.
Cafe
culture here to me is like very, it feels very Europe. It feels very European, and what I always envisioned as an American, what Europe feels like. And I will never get tired of that because it's kind of forced me to enjoy just normal life here.
I'm going to ask you a question then. And this is, you don't know about this question.
No, it's not pre-planned.
No, this is not pre-planned. So this could go wrong. How would you compare cafe culture of a particular part of the day, whether it's a morning or a lunch or whatever, in Portugal, in Intervera, or Porto, with cafe culture when we were visiting Paris? I'm just curious if you see there's a difference.
I feel like it's more chill.
Where?
In here.
Yeah, right.
I think the concept is the same.
Right.
Like
okay.
Europeans, I think Europeans know how to relax better than we do.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that is why it works and why that is the lifestyle, to go and have a coffee and sit there for 2 hours if you wanted to. You know, like you talk to people, or not talk to people, you just be, you know? And I think that I kind of have Paris, I have a love-hate relationship with that place a little bit because I think it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen, architecturally, all those things. But like sitting in the cafe and interacting with the people there is different, especially if they are not tourists and trying to enjoy the city the way we're trying to enjoy the city as tourists. I feel like sometimes it cannot be as welcoming.
Right.
Whereas here, I feel like you can make 20 friends in an afternoon sitting at a cafe because you're all just sitting there enjoying life, and you're talking, or you're hearing somebody's chat or whatever, or you're hearing all different languages around you. Like,
I mean, you'll get that in Paris as
well.
I
was off that now.
Oh, okay.
But I was just saying in general, like that's what I love so much about the cafe culture here is that it exists, and you can always. There's nothing intimidating about sitting in a cafe by yourself and having a coffee or a glass of wine or anything.
No, absolutely not.
And it, quite frankly, as a traveler, it is one of the best things that you can plan to do when you're here. It really is. Because stop planning every 5 seconds.
It really allows you to stop, take stock.
That's right.
Enjoy, listen, see, all of that.
And just get to know a place.
I think that brings me probably into one of my last ones, if not the last one for me. And I think this will hit home with you as much as well. Proximity to other countries.
Oh. We flew home in 2.5 hours the other day.
This will never get old.
No, it will never get old.
Now, sure, you've got to go through airports and what have you and all the rest of it. And that's just part
of the flight time alone. Yep.
But the flight time alone. But if we want to go, for instance, we're looking at later this year, going to Marrakesh. It's
like a 45-minute flight.
We're just waiting for Ryanair. They keep dropping their cheap flights, and they are cheap. I mean, we can go to Marrakesh, the two of us, and back for probably around about 115,
total,
120 euros
for both of us.
For both of us return journey. And
the trek is 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's with hand luggage only. It's not checked bag, but it's hand luggage and a suitcase, 10 kilo, all the rest of it. So yeah, proximity to other places, and it always blows my mind. Even though I lived in England, and you could have that, the fact that we're in Portugal, we're even more midway to more places with a shorter distance. And
I do believe that now we have a network of people that we really trust with our pup.
Yes.
So our opportunities, I think, especially into next year, we will do more international travel into other countries in the EU for sure. Like, I mean, we've been to Italy, but we haven't been back to Italy in a while, and I haven't been back to France, or I haven't seen the French countryside. I've seen Paris. Like, different. I would love to go to Germany to see some of the places that you've been. Like, there's just so much. It can get overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, we still do have a travel budget. Okay.
We just need to extend the travel budget.
Right. It's just amazing. So I'm really looking forward to hopping over to Africa. No big deal.
Right.
Or
what we do is we really get into UGC, and people will pay us to go and do videos of.
Anybody want to do that?
Anybody?
Bueller? I'll totally make some videos for you. Anyway.
So there we go.
There we go.
But yeah, that was another one for me.
Yeah, that's probably one of the top things that still blow my mind.
Yeah.
100%.
The ability to travel cheaply.
Yeah.
And to a variety of cultures.
Yeah. And so many places that we haven't gone yet. So it's just like we get so excited about where we're going to go. But then again, I go, damn it, we still haven't seen all of Portugal.
So yeah, anyway, it's a balance.
It is a balance.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and work on that.
That's right. Well, cheers, y'all. We'll see you next time.
I'm empty, but cheers.
Cheers.
Listen up, future expats. For more content about our move, the visa process, Portuguese culture and destinations, and tons of support resources for your own decisions and potential move abroad, follow us at Substack, TikTok, and Instagram at Portugal Junkies.
Stay in touch and help us reach more people by subscribing here and following us there.
Cheers, y'all!